Source Hunter. Is it safe? Have you done it? Please tell me that you have sent Brachus Rex to the grave once and for all. Magnificent. Oh, truly wondrous. I feel like a prisoner set free. Free to bask in the daylight once more. I was so fearful. Petrified almost in the knowledge that I might see him again. You see, I knew the Mad King. In fact, I served him. I'm a wizard hunter, and that means I've seen many centuries pass me by. They weren't always happy ones, and you may take that as an understatement. I was once under Brachus's thrall, bound to him by perfidious magic. Life was an endless cycle of servitude, torture, and humiliation. Only after the first Source Hunters skewered him like the pig he was did my... As you can imagine, I was afraid beyond all measure that the fiend would enslave us all once more. That I'd be cast back into the rank pit that was my past. But he hasn't, and he never will. Thank you. I will never forget this act of valor. So you have heard of her? Yes. I knew Cassandra. She was a sweet girl when we met. Hardly a woman yet. The very opposite of her deranged brother, who did not hesitate to butcher her for his own benefit. We were fast friends in those days. Aye, more than friends. Until he took her down to the dungeons, and she returned a woman no longer. A twisted lich had she become, with a twisted mind to match her grisly new shape. He remorselessly and relentlessly sought ways to cheat death. Cassandra and he were soul-forged, so he knew that if she would die, he would die. And so he turned her into a lich. Turned her into a creature neither living nor dead, so that he could break the soul forge without destroying himself in the process. Giving the matter no further thought, he rid his sister of her humanity, so as to rid himself of a spell that could threaten him. Such a man was Brachus Rex. Immortal in his mind, and immortal to be in effect. As your swords and spells have demonstrated, though, to this world's everlasting contentment, his deranged fancy was not to be. I don't know. When the Source Hunters besieged Brachus's castle, I sought only to escape. I never heard of her again. Yes, I longed for freedom, for release. When I saw my chance, I ran and never looked back. You have foiled one of Leandra's vile designs, that much is certain. But I highly doubt you forestalled her endgame, whatever that may be. It is therefore imperative that we find her sister Ikara. As you've learned from the accursed duo that was Jake and Evelyn, the White Witch is somehow involved. I will vouch for her gentle nature, but alas, I cannot vouch for her current state of mind. Has she been corrupted by her sister, perhaps? Or have they become enemies locked in a murderous game of cat and mouse? There's no way of knowing until you find her. What I do know is that she lives in a cabin deep in Lacula Forest to the north. If anywhere, that is where I advise your travels should take you next. Very well, Hunter.
That's it. Brachus Rex is dead. The way he spoke about our forebears was horrific. I wonder how many Source Hunters had to die before the Source King was deposed. Yes, forward is the only way we can look now. This Source cult runs deeper than we...
Both are. How jolly! There's something quite astounding you must see. It's the Weaver. Thanks to the Starstone you've collected, she's mended a portion of the tapestry. Look, a new story has been rewoven into time. A new portion of history appears to us for the first time in... not even I know how long. Let us look together. Let us see what the Weaver has woven.
Long ago, two great generals led mankind in a terrible war. The dreaded Void Dragon threatened all of existence, and man and gods alike joined swords to stop it. The two generals were celebrated as the rulers of all, and even the gods paid them tribute.
I greet you, Honorable Master of the House. I am the Shepherd of Elements, and I control how they may flock towards your most imperial presence. So, if it pleases you, command me, and the elemental aspect of your choice shall once more settle among these holy halls. And that is your final choice?
Yes, indeed.
Thy will be done.
Cold in here, it hurts.
The
Think my very words
must
may
listen
freeze
to him.
and fall to the
His
ground.
every word is poison, such as no
By the hoary beard of Boreas, can it be? You've come home. It's about time, isn't it? Your quarters have been invaded by all manner of madness. Does my brilliant frost beguile you? I am ice, of course. A soldier of ice, to be explicit, and this is where I have dwelt across many eons. Here I wait for the day, if ever, I am called to serve the realm again. Could I be more explicit? This place is of your essence. Can't you feel it in your very bones, as I do in every crystal of frost within me? You belong here, and this place belongs to you. I cannot tell you why or how, but I, of course, alongside my opposite, the eternal fire, we were summoned in service of a goal greater than the timeless battle between heat and cold. Yes, together we sought victory against the void, You can thank our great army for all of this, you know. For existence itself. Those were times of great proportions. The forces of nothingness pitted against those of life, and naught but ourselves marching to the beat set by our great leaders could stop the void's encroachment. Your home, your rules, naturally. What would you like to know? Off to explore your abode, are you? Very good. The hoary beard of Boreas, can it be? You've come home. It's about time, isn't it? Your quarters have been invaded by all manner of madness. Off to
How might I serve our mission? In the ethereal, the drift of accept. It's ask, and I shall I am, perhaps, am I the beginning? And alas, a hidden. I believe that starstones will know what it is. I reside in another realm altogether. And yet, I think that know that, but suddenly the new threat, these starstones. Please, seek them quite so. I do not know, but perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Threads I weave and tale. She is one whose history is shrouded in darkness. He is the instigator. He is the threads tell me that once, oh, how many eons lie hidden in so small. I can clearly read, but how can this be now that you stand before me a human? Can the duty, the son of frost, how mighty he was, a giant that lived for war. He and the aspect of fire, what enemies they used to be. But you sealed their allegiance and their friendship so that together, you could overcome the dark that was spreading. But of course, what part would you like to see?
Baking like a cake.
Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir.
Ah, the source hunt. If you bravo! How am I? We are the I'd say. What more is yes? And no, I don't see how my. I heard she. What'd you take me for? We may well stand on. So let me by Bella. Anyway, I'm Captain.
About this! To the barracks! March! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Shut! About this! To the barracks! March! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those bunch should embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Those bunch should embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
on, we are our own judges. This goes...
Oh! I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
About face! To the barracks! March!
So good to see you again, Source Hunter. So good to see you again. The chances of survival during these I shall be very glad to share what info by all means. We lost another my legionnaires for 2 years. Still.
What? Oh, it's you! What news? Oh, she's a dear girl indeed. She's got a little cabin in the cooler forest, not so far to the north of here, in fact. And though she doesn't make it into Sicil often, it's a comfort to know she's keeping the watch near our border. I hope she hasn't got mixed up in all this ugly business with the counselor.
Let us see if you can choose the finest green!
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to come to apologize for your baseless accusations. Well, now that the matter's settled, I have no reason not to say it. I hated Jake, the corrupt old goat.
Oh, you haven't left town yet, have you? Jolly good. Join me, why don't you, for a scandalously milky saucer of... But of course, darling. Be my guest. Oh, my dearest, dearest Sam. He's positively the tenderest tomcat in the...
Cats. Such beauty, such grace they have. Magnificence incarnate.
Ah, Maxine, my feline flame.
Oscar, you say? I haven't been called Oscar in ages. Boy, does that bring back memories. It's the name the ship's cook gave me when I was but a kitten. I remember him rewarding me with bacon every time I caught another rat. And I remember listening to a fellow called Ebenezer, who used to tell me the wildest stories. A strange bird, that one. Used to indulge in every pleasure of life like there was no tomorrow. Guess there was no tomorrow for him, come to think of it. He would talk everyone's ears off about the delights of fine dining, his fascination with new fashions, about the elation of lovemaking, and so on and so forth. To me, though, never suspecting his revelations would be stored in my mind, he'd whisper of the shadow sides of his indulgent character. Fine dining, yes, on human flesh even. New fashions, sure, even if they meant the annihilation of a species for its hides. Lovemaking, indeed. But sometimes the girls were very young and suffered delicate tortures. Some died in his special chambers, but would still be used. A strange bird, as I'm sure you'll agree. If he were a bit smaller, I might have caught him like I would a sparrow. By all means.
Glorious to see you once more, fair. She came from on high to we mortals. She showed us. You mean you steal you by following her instructions? Ah, there, among go on the path.
Sicil.
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
we never sail to Ythildor anymore?
Heard anything about the whereabouts of the magic stick yet? What? I'm sure. James, many thanks. Those orcs must be out of their barbarous. I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over.
Oh, and don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythildor anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky-chan loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, indeed. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythildor anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore...
Yours? Here? Was too. So, you found that thief, did you? I hope you gave him what was coming. Ever hear about the time
yes.
the captain took the
I'm sure he'd have a tale or two to share if he could talk.
I'd guess exactly one tale, Captain.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythildor anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky-chan loves him.
Yes, good friend. I'm quite busy finding for the moment, but if there's something you'd like to buy, I could set all that aside for a few delicious moments. Goodbye then, good...
What can I do for you? More prey awaits.
Strange to be judged by a panel of stony-faced gods. In Rimelon, we are our own judges. This ghostly form is the finest blessing we can hope for.
There's something to
The
it, isn't
sights, the sounds, the chaos. Ah, who'd give all this up for oblivion? Who wants to be judged by a panel of stony-faced gods? In Rimelon, we are our own judges. This ghostly form is the finest blessing we can hope for. The sights, the sounds, the chaos. Ah, who'd give all this up for oblivion?
Strange. There's something
to it, isn't there? That's it, kiddo. Explore as much as you can while you've got that youthful vim and vigor about you. Life is a wonderful thing. The ship that sunk and turned us, but I reckon Cats beats me. We were all aboard. The name's Evan. In life, as it though half the fun of the fine. Can you imagine? How could you? Those are lies. It was the ultimate pleasure. Oh, how could I hang back if there were even rarer, even more exquisite elations to pursue? How can I let any morsel of satisfaction go untasted in this brief mortal coil? Surely now you understand why I could never submit myself to the judgment awaiting me at the gates of the Hall of Echoes. No. I prefer to remain here for an eternity with a few of my senses, a few of my more delectable memories, than risk being cast into hell.
There's something to it, isn't there?
Go on then, Eb. Speak your piece. There's something to it, isn't there?
Agreed. Ebenezer will not enjoy the judgment he faces, but crime...
Is that so? Is that what you really believe, Source Hunter? Well, forget divine judgment. I say we judge each other here and now.
Time to consult the Necronomicon.
Freezing flurry!
What do you think, Source Hunter? Shall I start shredding from the top or the bottom?
I need to dry off.
No grave contains me.
Spirits of Riverlock, I call you home to the earth.
I'll make short work of this scum.
Poison my foes!
Ugh, I'm dripping.
How many eyes does a bull have?
Liquid courage!
Feeling hot under the collar?
Potent heat! Upon the earth.
Soaked to the skin. Now this is valuable.
Toasty.
I could do with a cold drink. I'm warm as fresh apple pie.
Toasty.
your enthusiasm.
The shadows of hell breathe life into you.
Heating up.
Warm as dragon's breath.
Sickard's beard, what a fight!
Sweet relief.
Hail, Source Hunter. Good to see you've reached Lacula Forest. There were times when I came to this neck of the woods just to whiff its wholesome air. Alas, that it is thick with sorcery these days.